What's going on, everyone? It's your favorite Jealousator Apoc, and welcome back to the channel where I analyze things that sometimes don't really matter. So I was supposed to finish off this October recap last week or the other week or whatever, but then Jess fam decided to get all froggy with some teenagers like the grown-up she is, and well, y'all know how that one went. But anyways, it's that time again for Apoc's monthly reslap, where I take everything that I've discussed or exposed over the last month or so and just recap all the bullshit. Okay, let's get it. So first, let's talk about this not so lovely peach known as Digitalprincxss, who decided to leave her toddler home alone at night to go off and party and get lucky. Really wouldn't call it that much luck for who's ever on the receiving end. Anyways, to make things 1,000 times worse than it already is, her son was found crying in her yard by a neighbor, which I just cannot imagine what that kid went through that night. She really is truly lucky that her son was found by a good Samaritan and not some dangerous weirdo.
Because her neighbor, for all we know, could have been super dangerous. Luckily, her neighbor was not. Luckily, there wasn't anybody driving around the neighborhood. Just, so lucky.
So the neighbor called the police. The police came, went into the house, couldn't find her, found her number on some paperwork, called her. She apparently was on her way home or whatever. And when she arrived, she told the police that she went down to 7-Eleven to get some laundry detergent, which was a complete, total, and utter lie,
Yep.
which she admitted later on because of her anxiety. That apparently made her do it.
Not the fact that she was about to get in trouble or anything.
Yeah, exactly. And also the fact that the laundry detergent bottle was too big for little convenience stores. They don't sell those ones. And it was also half empty. And she was a little too dressed to go get some laundry detergent in the middle of the night. The cops knew something was suspect. So she was arrested with child neglect, and the internet blew up and blew her mugshot over everywhere, especially Twitter.
And then she had to take a break. Not for that long, though.
She took like a month break or whatever and came back gloating about what she did, saying that people are dragging her name, even though we're just going by the documents, what was presented by and from the police and the neighbor. They're not all against you. This is what happened. You admitted to being a liar. And it doesn't matter if her case is dismissed or whatever. It doesn't matter.
A lot of cases get dismissed.
Like Casey
child
Anthony?
neglect cases, yeah. But not just that. There was the one recently in Texas. But cases get dismissed all the time, unfortunately, with CPS cases. It's unfortunate, but it does happen. It happens a lot.
Yeah, so it literally means nothing. And plus, you don't know the logistics and what's kind of behind the scenes. She could have gave up custody of her kid to her mom for all we know.
Apparently she didn't, because somebody made a comment on one of her TikToks and she said she didn't. You could still have custody of him, but you might have full custody of him.
Oh, which one thing she also lied about was she didn't have a support system, but her mom lived down the road.
Yeah. Also, I think she wanted to shove her Lamborghini, I think it was a Lamborghini, in people's faces because she wanted to gaslight people and say that people are just jealous of her. That's why they're talking shit about her.
Right.
You know, because they all do that. People who are talking about you neglecting your child doesn't have anything to do with jealousy, okay? Nothing to do with jealousy.
Well, do you want a Lamborghini?
No, not
Neither do I. So what's to be jealous
I
about?
don't like those cars. I've never liked
Do you
cars
want her
like that.
Do you want her Pokemon tattoos?
Hell no.
Yeah, but it just blows my mind that's how she came back. Because before, she did leave like a little message before she took a break. And it was a lot better than like what she came back with. Although she still said people were dragging her name and saying things that weren't true, even though they were. But it was much better than what she's doing now. And she's really riding this train.
That was the other thing. She had said, because people thought she was going to make a statement on the 22nd of October on TikTok. We didn't realize that she was going to make a statement on OF, which meant that people have to subscribe to see it, which meant she gets money off of it. So she was also going to try to bank off of it as well.
She never did, though. It never happened.
No, because her account got suspended. I assume because people went and mass reported it.
She is a clout chaser.
But she was about to make a statement on that account because she knew she could make money off of it, because she knows people are going to go and subscribe just to see that statement. But luckily she wasn't able to get that statement. But it's all about money for her. She just wants money. It's also like her last bit of money possibly.
It's
So
one last hurrah before they go.
I'm actually surprised that her TikTok account is still up.
Yeah, I'm not.
I'm not, because I know TikTok favors the bigger creators, but but also I am because I know that her account has been mass reported.
TikTok, YouTube, and all these other platforms, they would rather ban the people speaking out against child neglect. They will literally ban the word.
Yeah.
Can't say it,
Yeah.
you know, in some other words. They would rather ban that person trying to speak out
Yeah.
and bring awareness than to ban the person who's actually committing
Doing
the
it.
act and
Yeah.
doing it and doing these heinous things. But moving forth, let's talk about KKandbabyJ, specifically starting with Keren and how she fumbled the ball with her own company and was forced to dissolve it. Real shocker, huh? We were not surprised at all. In fact, we called that shit from a long time ago. Since the start, man.
Yeah, that's one reason why they're going to try to make excuses for it, is because other people were already calling it before. They're like, we wanted to shut it down.
Their own community even knew it was a joke.
Yeah. People who like them even were like, okay, this is kind of weird.
Well, when you claim to have a fitness brand, they expect something based around fitness.
It wasn't just that either. People knew that there was something weird with it because she literally made it at the start of her quote fitness journey.
Yeah, it wasn't even something that she was like legitimately passionate about for like a year or two or something like that. Or she lost a bunch of weight and then she got passionate about it.
She started it during her journey.
Yeah, she started during her journey and just claimed to be passionate about it. It doesn't make any sense. I mean, you guys get passionate about a lot of shit real quick.
You know, people were saying how it was obvious that she lost all the weight that she did. I don't doubt that she was getting fit, because she was, but I do know that a lot of the weight she lost, which nothing wrong with it, but a lot of the weight she lost came from not eating as many chips, not drinking as much soda, not eating as much Chick-fil-A, and that's why she lost so much weight. Because you're gonna lose, if you're eating that stuff on the daily, you stop it, you will lose a lot of weight. And I do think that that is where a lot of her weight loss came from. Like I said, I think she was on a good route at one point, but
it was very short term.
I remember people saying, you know, like, oh, can you show us what I eat in a day? Never once did she do that. She never showed anything. She herself said that for Kickass, she was the face, she was the example, she was the
inspiration.
Basically, yeah, she said she was the example for the guides, right? So she was the person you look at to see, you know, if the guides worked. But also you have to see her doing those guides, and you never saw her doing them.
No, other people did them for her.
Yeah.
And she had a couple of videos.
And then when she did do some of what I assume was in the guides on YouTube, everything she did was wrong. She did just never was the right form. We can't look now. Even on the Kickass Instagram, her old posts on the stories where she was lifting, she was doing it completely wrong. Either Daniel didn't want to tell her what she was doing wrong, or he himself didn't know, but I don't believe that. I think he just didn't want to tell her she was doing it wrong, because I know Daniel knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
And I have a hard time believing that he wouldn't tell somebody like,
they just
you're
let
doing
Keren
this
get
wrong.
away with
I think they just
wanted.
let Keren get away with whatever she wanted, because it didn't matter. She was going to do what she was going to do.
Because you don't want to slight the narcissist with the power and money.
Yeah. Daniel and Carly knew what they were doing, and I just think they didn't want to tell Keren she was doing it wrong. Because, well, for one, it wouldn't matter.
They're just there for the money anyways.
Yeah.
Even if Karen's a joke, they can still make money off of her being a joke.
But there were so many times we saw Keren doing stuff that could hurt her. And you're like, oh, dude, tell her she's doing that wrong. She's going to hurt herself. Bad. Not a shocker at all. It wasn't a passion of Karen's. It was an easy moneymaker. She can say it wasn't all she wants. She was not passionate about it at all.
No.
Because if she was, you would have seen it in their vlogs.
Well,
and
exactly.
you never saw it.
Because it's a lifestyle.
Yeah, it's a lifestyle. It's part of your daily life, which is what you guys vlogged.
So that means you would see it within the vlogs. I mean, they have no problem showing off their Florida bougie boat lake house lifestyle, but you didn't see an ounce of fitness lifestyle or healthy lifestyle anywhere. I mean, in the video where Qua's doing the interview for Kickass, he literally states that he leads a healthy lifestyle for his children, but in the same breath says that he actually doesn't do those things.
Yeah, I know.
I love leading a healthy lifestyle because, well, number one, because of my kids. I want to set a good example for my kids, and I want to be around for a long time to always play with my little monsters. A healthy lifestyle is just so important. You wake up, you feel good, and you work better, you're more efficient, and you can just do more. Working out, eating right, which I have trouble doing. I don't eat that well.
And like I said, there was one point where Keren was showing it a little bit. She was showing, you know, meal prepping.
The very beginning.
Well, she wasn't meal prepping. She paid somebody to come meal prep. But then she would buy her meals, healthier meals that were prepped. And she did show it for a little bit, but then she apparently she wasn't working out for herself. Even though that doesn't make any sense, because it's just like, but you said that you're the example for the guides. You're not working out for yourself if you're showing it, but you have to show it because you sell guides. You're the example.
They're your guides. You sign them.
So it's like, what are you talking about?
So when they vlog and they're doing it for other people and they're doing things for the vlog to please other people, which they have admitted to, and they share things with other people, they're no longer doing it for themselves and for their own memories.
Yeah.
So why hasn't that passion stopped?
I know. Yeah, it's funny.
But you know what's not a shocker? When Kwa said this to Keren.
And if still then we really want another baby, then maybe. You know?
My back.
Right?
Getting old, man. Yeah.
I won't never say never, but I'm just saying right now, currently, we're gonna stop.
What do you mean? No, we're not having a baby now. We're not having a baby, period.
We'll see.
Now that is insane for someone who apparently also lost 4 babies and had to deal with infertility as well, because men deal with it too, and he lost all hope and all this. It's just pretty crazy that he would say this after all that grief.
Yep. After how long of trying? You know, at that point they had been trying for not even a year. But
it was only 3 to 4 months, which we proved, by the way, because in April,
because of what she said, her words, we're using her words.
Right? Because in April last year, she finally convinced Squall to have a baby, which means that's the time we're going by where they began to apparently try. And in August, they stopped trying.
But even now, they say they were trying for a year and a half. So it's like, you were trying without Qua's consent is what it is. Good job, Keren.
Yeah.
Y'all are both shitty to each other.
Keren just being the prime example for young women.
But yeah, I remember watching that video for the first time, Qua telling Keren that. I'm just like, what?
I know.
What?
Imagine if I said that to you when we lost our son.
I would be like, okay, no.
Yeah.
She didn't even blink an eye.
No.
She didn't even care.
She's smiling.
You know why?
She's like, we'll see.
Because she didn't actually fucking lose a baby.
No.
She's a fucking liar. A husband saying that to a wife,
would crush them.
Boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever it is, not okay.
Nope.
Not okay. After apparently having 4 miscarriages and apparently having infertility after less than a year of trying, a fucking real man at least would never say that to his wife.
But to be real though, aside from that, he also lost those babies too and gave up hope, right?
Even if he didn't experience it physically, like let's just say she did experience miscarriages, a husband seeing his wife in pain or girlfriend in pain, whatever it is painful to them as well.
Oh, it's horrible.
So seeing that,
because you can't do anything.
like, that's what I'm saying though. That is their pain. Obviously their pain comes from losing the baby as well, but it's also different. It's mostly coming from the fact that they see their wife or their girlfriend in so much pain and they can't do anything about it. A husband at least is, I mean, unless they can't actually be there, a husband is supposed to be there and help you get through that when you're emotional and you're like physically going through it, emotionally going through it, mentally going through it. So he saw that. This motherfucker saw that, apparently. It's a lie, but he apparently saw Keren suffering through 4 miscarriages and infertility, yet he says, no, if we're not having one now, we're not having one at all. Meaning, get pregnant now or we're not having one at all, even though she literally said it was out of her control.
Yeah.
They've made all these videos basically saying it was out of their control. That doesn't make any sense. You're telling her to just hurry up and get pregnant.
Yeah, if you don't knock off those miscarriages, you're not going to get a baby.
Yeah.
Knock off that infertility, Keren.
There's no other way of fucking twisting that either.
No.
You can say Keren and Qua are great people. There's 2 options, like you've said before. 2 options. Either they're lying or he's a piece of shit for saying that to his wife. It's only one of 2 options.
Well, you know what? I'm game for both.
I think it's both. Regardless of whatever, we know they're lying, but their lying makes them pieces of shit. So he's just a piece of shit anyways.
Yeah. What's in this other video I made called, I Can't Believe Qua Said This to Keren, Shocking. Where is another prime example of Qua not knowing how to comfort his wife after 4 miscarriages and infertility.
Yeah, after 4 miscarriages, and at this point it was a scare.
But he tells his wife, and again, I don't have the clip to show it because they cut the footage or they took out the vlogs. It was illegal to film in a doctor's office and they did it anyways. And Qua tells Keren Keren, after a scare, apparently they had a scare with some like abnormal heartbeat or whatever with the baby, but Kwa, who apparently knows how to comfort his wife, who knows his wife so well, he tells her after knowing this apparent scare, in the midst of this scare, possibly going to miscarry again and lose another baby, he asks her if she wants to go on a little vacation by herself. Says he can put her up in a hotel and he'll watch the kids
Potentially go miscarry by herself, alone.
Alone, without him.
So, you know, the doctor says this is a potential miscarriage for you, but maybe you should just go to a hotel by yourself. I don't want to deal with it.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
I mean, apparently it was a potential miscarriage. Obviously, it didn't happen, but wants to send her off by herself.
I mean, he still left her to go to Texas. Left her alone in a high-risk pregnancy.
Well, this was after the fact. It was only a couple weeks after the fact. So, you know, because she apparently took a month off and was just magically okay after the month.
Apparently that heals all infertility.
It's crazy. It's just taking a month off from holding a camera, you know, just holding the camera, because we know Keren doesn't do any of the other work, but she takes a month off, you know, from all of her quote hard work, and then she just magically is okay from miscarrying. It won't happen. It's just not gonna happen.
Yeah.
She makes it seem like taking a month off which just fixes the potential miscarriage.
Which is just horrible, because unfortunately one of her followers is going to have a miscarriage. You know, it's a sea of young girls.
Yeah.
One of them's gonna have one, and they're gonna go off of what Keren
advice.
presented. They're gonna use her advice.
Yeah.
And they might lose a baby because of what Keren did, because of her actions, because of what she told them.
Or just because they think that, hey, taking a month off and laying in bed all day saves you from miscarrying.
But hey, you know, caring for young girls and wanting them to be safe and providing them with actual real information just makes me a jealous